Hi, I'm Sunshine. I'm here to do a reading for you today. I haven't decided what the reading is about, but I am going to just draw a card and we will see where this goes, okay? All right, today I'm going to use a traditional tarot deck, which I have not posted a reading with one of those yet, so something new again. Okay, we have two cards here. We have the Emperor and the Swords, and I will tell you that I do not read these in a traditional manner. I have like pictures and symbols and things like that that I see in the photos. So you may come back and say that I don't know what I'm talking about as far as what a meaning of a card is. And you're correct. I don't have a memorized list of what I'm going to tell you today. So I'm just going to tell you from what I see in the photo and bring forth the energy of the card, at least as far as what I'm getting today. All right, the Emperor card right there. To me, he looks very strong and almost a little demanding. You can see on his face, he's got a plan of what's going on and how he's going to do it. I'll bet you he's got a plan for a lot of stuff on how things need to be done. Seems kind of rigid. We'll see where it goes from there. This card has the swords, which to me means struggle. And it almost looks like there's been a bunch of sleepless nights for the Emperor. Let's pull something else and see what comes. Alrighty, we have the Page of Wands. This is a young guy. Looks like a young male to me. But he has a staff. Looks like he's going out on a journey. I see the three little pyramids back here. To me, that kind of represents like the Trinity. That's what I always think of when there's three of something, or messages from God or something of that nature, like things from the other side when it's in threes. But yeah, it looks like he's pretty pleased with himself and dressed up looking all spiffy and getting ready to go on a journey. I'm wondering if this isn't this guy right here. Maybe that's like the dad and then the kid, and then this is the kid grown up and going on their way. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. So it's a masculine energy, regardless of whether it is males or females or anything in between. It feels like a parental and child struggle. Now, it may be the type of struggle and not necessarily a struggle with a parent. So I should make that clear. It's something that's being treated as that parent-child, like an adolescent. Maybe this is why. Maybe this emperor is seeing all this partying and having a great time, and but there's that three again right there with the three of cups on there. So that that tells me that this young energy here is the one having a good time. This one here does not see that there's three and that there is guidance. There's guidance from above that this parental figure is not aware of or not seeing, or it's hidden in some way. All right, let's see this other one. The Knight of Swords. That seems, somewhat aggressive to me. Also, feeling very masculine and almost a dominant type of feel from this card. And I'm not sure that this knight is charging forward with a plan. It's kind of like just going on raw emotion and just going for it, and does not really have a clear direction on where he's going. And I don't think this guy likes that. I think he likes more order than what this one is presenting right now. And maybe that's why there's this struggle with the sleepless nights, because that one is directly below that card. Let's see what goes into this Page of Wands here. Oh, and the Queen of Cups. That's what she looks like. I see first that she's surrounded by water. So she's got a lot of emotion going on. There's a lot of contemplation on her face. But looks here, that to me just looks like there's something cool and interesting and intriguing and, any other, I don't know, it just kind of looks like technology of some sort. Like maybe there's something being brought forth that she's really working on, and she's got her heart and soul into it. But it's going to bring, she's sitting on a throne. It's going to go well. Whatever it is, it's going well. So that's under the Page of Wands. Now I wonder if that's the young energy. Maybe these are three separate individuals. This might be a family even. So you've got, the figure that, wants and seeks order. But there's too much of this going on. Too much merriment, not enough organization, and not enough whatever to make this guy happy. He likes to be organized, orderly, everything done the way that it should be done, without much deviance on the way that it gets done. And these folks just don't care. They think that this should be just go with the flow and having a great time no matter what they're doing. And I guess I feel like they're seeking something in between, and maybe that's the struggle. Maybe it's not people, and that there is a struggle between, because that Emperor sees this person charging forward, and it appears as though they don't have direction. But what this Emperor is not seeing is the Trinity that's involved here. It doesn't make sense to an Emperor. It just doesn't. It won't. Because this guy, I see this guy more as like not quite military organized and orderly, but likes things to be done the way that they like, maybe more like an OCD type of thing, where they get uncomfortable if things are outside of what they understand. That's probably more along the lines of what it is, and not understanding this because this doesn't fit the order that he feels is necessary. And that is where this strife is coming from here, and the sleepless nights, and the thinking that this is charging forward and there's no planning or whatever. And he's visualizing this desire to do whatever it is as young and inexperienced and needing a lot of guidance. And the fact of the matter is, this young energy has been guided. It's just not the guidance that this one is offering. So you see they're not even looking at each other. He looks kind of mad, and she's kind of looking off in the distance this way at her new little thing over here. And I don't know that he likes that much. Kind of visible on his face, but it doesn't seem like, not like he's mad or anything. He's just really uncomfortable. It's like I said, it's like a OCD situation where you put someone who walks into a room and has to touch the light switch, when they enter the room, because that is something that someone with OCD might have. And, we walk into a room and there's not a light switch in there. Then what? That's just uncomfortable. It's not anything wrong with it. And it's not anything, it's not anything bad, but for the individual that feels like they need to touch the light switch, that is a big deal. That's a real big deal, that there is not one to touch. And this queen over here, she's just like, you know what? You're just going to have to, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And not really paying too much attention to the discomfort of this guy over here that's uncomfortable with where things are and where they're going. Let's see what comes up. We'll get more into this Emperor and see what else I get. Actually, I'm switching decks here. I'm going to take up my nature spirits. I love these. These have a lot of pictures of different nature scenes and things like that. So it gives a different perspective to, the rigidity of these cards. This is the deck that has the illustrations, I think, from the original decks that were done. I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, this gives kind of a different perspective. Okay. Oh my goodness. This is the Song of the Wild, which is funny. The first thing that came to mind is this scenario right here. Okay. This guy, rigid and likes things a certain way. Then there's this Song of the Wild that he feels and he loves, and he really wants this, but stuck in this place where he's got to touch light switches. You know what I mean? And it's literally something like that. And he sees this in this individual here. He sees this, as her wild beauty, he is seeing her as his call to the wild. his song of the wild. It's like she's going back to her elements, the base of who she is. And that spot doesn't have light switches. So that's uncomfortable. Also, the Song of the Wild, right there on top of that Emperor, with this, that he's perceiving as kind of wild, wanting to understand, wanting to get it, feeling like it has no guidance, and yet it's just being guided in a way that he can't see. This one. Ooh, medicine woman or medicine man. That one right there. I kind of think that might be these sleepless nights, all of these swords here. It's not easy to sleep when you're the one there under all these swords. So maybe that's your emperor right there, and that's his medicine woman. It's the one that brings him back, grounds his spirit, helps him see that there's more in the room than just the light switch. When he's having such a hard time seeing anything else in the room because of the one thing that's missing, the light switch. This is beautiful. Okay, we've got the young energy here of the page, and then we get Grandmother Earth, which goes on top of it. So again, I'm going back to this Emperor feeling like this is a young and irresponsible energy, when in actuality, it's not. It's the energy that's been here since before the beginning of time. It's the old, it's the gift, the gift from God and from the earth, and just having us here. And I think it's about developing that connection. There's supposed to be a connection between the young and the old. That's what it is, the connection between the young and the old. And I kind of feel like this medicine woman, whatever here, the Emperor's medicine woman, I feel like, that is the young and that's the old. This is the same energy here as this Grandmother Earth, and maybe she's tapping into ancient wisdoms that feel like it's, silliness and fleeting information or whatever, but maybe there's something real about it. Maybe there's something, maybe the Emperor knows it's real and he's scared of it. Oh my goodness. And in all this merriment here, and I said that that's the Trinity, right? Okay, we've got the Grandmother Earth, and then we've got Grandfather Sky. I just said, the Trinity. That's pointing up to the sky. That's talking about God right there. So what this Emperor is seeing as wild and frivolous is actually very guided by God and by, Mother Earth. It's a guided journey. of the heart. This is this Knight of Swords right here. And I think that makes sense because this might actually be, because you know how I said this one up here, that might be the medicine woman feeling, a certain way. But maybe this is the Emperor, maybe. And the other is the, medicine woman, Queen of Cups. So maybe the Emperor is charging forward. This is what I think is going on now. Okay, it's all coming clear. The Emperor is the one. He's moving forward with something that makes him uncomfortable. It is completely out of his comfort zone. This medicine woman, Queen of Cups, is taking him even further outside of his comfort zone. He's fighting for what used to be, and he's also fighting for what he wants to be. And it's somewhere in between. This just really confirms that. He's got the warrior of the heart. I mean, he's fighting. I mean, it's white, the white bear too, which, the white light. And he's fighting for what's good. He's trying his best, and he's learning, and he's trying to keep up, and he's trying to understand. But there are certain things that he just doesn't. And she needs to be patient with that. All right, let's get the last one over here out of this one. Then we'll pull some angel cards and sum that up. Medicine bag. That's funny. On top of the Queen of Cups, which I said was the medicine woman. And now she's got her medicine bag. And look at that. She's got, I don't know if that's a waterfall or if that's God's light coming down. But either way, that's good. That's good. It's an influx of either water, which is wonderful, beautiful, clear emotion, clear sight, or like the clear sight would be from God, and clear emotions, maybe it's both. Maybe God's giving both of those things to this medicine woman and letting her know her bag is full. She's been working on it for a long time. She's been studying, she's been working, and her bag is full. I just feel very strongly that she's ready. She's ready for she's ready for what's next. Let me flip this over. The white buffalo card, I saw this one earlier and I don't quite know what to think of that one. So I'm just going to leave that here and I'll come back to it at the end. Let's flip this deck over too. The Hermit card. That's what's on the bottom of the deck. But anyway, the Hermit card kind of is a standalone, stand back from the crowd kind of an energy to me. Like just much more of an observer and then deciding where the interactions should be. So that kind of is very overall the whole feel of the entire reading that I've done is there's just this stand back and I'll be over here by myself and until I figure this out. And that's kind of what this is. He's just going to hang out and then decide when it's best to enter. But you know what? I actually do understand this card now. The white buffalo, I think he's going to charge in. He's going to charge in and he's going to take his place. He's going to take his place in his life. Whereas he's been this hermit. He's been this. And he doesn't, I don't know if he even knows he's been this. But when you're someone looking desperately for a light switch in a room that doesn't have one. I mean, that kind of puts you in this situation because you can't leave the room till you find a light switch when there isn't one to find. There's just not even one in there. It's time to move on from what doesn't exist in there. Move on from the fear, and I think it's the fear that's the biggest thing, is moving on from that fear and putting hope like into what God has for him. I'm going to pull some angel cards because I feel like this is taking a strong turn here for instead of just explaining the situation, which is kind of what's happened with these cards here, I feel like God is bringing forth something important to the people that we're talking about here. And I do believe it's a male-female relationship, but that's not necessarily the case. I mean, it could be, it is male dominant and feminine, one of each, regardless of what that is or what that means. All right. Protected. Aw. I feel like that's for this Emperor and the Hermit. I mean, the Hermit I feel like the Hermit and the Emperor are one and the same in this reading. And what this male energy needs to know is that he's safe. He's safe. He's protected. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. You're safe and you're protected. There's not anything bad that is coming over this situation. This situation is blessed. It's blessed, and it is being treated as though, I just see that he's not seeing that it's blessed. So the masculine energy is not seeing it as blessed. And it just is. That's what God wants you to know. Your relationship is blessed. Your significant other is okay, just the way they are. You are okay, just the way you are. Claircognizant. This is the Archangel Uriel card. It says, pay attention to your thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. So, this to me seems like it is about this medicine woman, and which is the Queen of Cups. And like she's having like which feels like is maybe daydreams or something like that. But those are messages. Those are messages, and they need to be paid attention to. So whatever it is that's been ruminating in your head and spinning thoughts about is actually a message for you that you need to be taking seriously. There's financial gain attached to that. And I just pour blessing over you for that. I pour blessing over you and your finances and for whatever this endeavor is. But know it's an answer to your prayer. Okay? No matter what anybody thinks about it or anything like that, God's answered you. And you've been praying, and you know what you've been praying for. But you have an answer, you're not seeing it quite yet. Spiritual teacher. Which I think is kind of funny because that goes on top of the Grandmother Earth and that Page of Wands, which I feel like is that young energy, or what's perceived as the young energy, is actually ancient knowledge, and maybe this person is a spiritual teacher. Maybe they're bringing God's light into the world in a way that you don't understand because they are reaching folks that are not being reached otherwise. Maybe that's what it is. And she's here to do her job and to do her job for everybody and to love everyone equally, regardless of what their beliefs are. And to know that the possibility I don't even know what I'm trying to bring forth right now. I think it's just to know that there is possibility. I'll figure out more on that, but I have to pull more cards. I'm not quite getting what that is, but it's talking about classes and sessions and seminars and self-healing and all of that, which is fantastic. But there's something else to come from that card. Patience, which is exactly what I'm being asked to have right now because I don't know what else is coming forth just yet. So patience, your dreams are blossoming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. That's beautiful. She's taking care of her garden, dressed to the nines, looking good, feeling good. She's got her wings out. She's out there taking care of her, I think it's flowers and all her hedges. And there's a little angel in the background. It's beautiful. So patience is required with this Emperor by this Queen of Cups, and vice versa, actually. She needs to have patience with him as he's coming along, and he needs to have patience with her, understanding that she's in a really deep healing process right now. And sometimes when things seem out of sorts, it's actually just something within herself, and it doesn't actually have anything to do with the Emperor. Lots of times the Emperor's thinking it's about him, but it's not. Leadership. Take charge of this situation. This is on top of the Warrior Heart and the Knight of Swords. Taking charge of the situation, but I think this is actually that Queen of Cups taking charge. I think she's taking charge of the situation, and that's only because it's really her situation to take charge of. You know, the Emperor has been the one, that has protected her and done all of this for her and has led her and guided her and offered support and information. And it's a really hard place to be for this Emperor because now she's listening, to God. Really, I think that's kind of what it's about, is it's just a hard place to be because he doesn't know what to do. He just doesn't know what to do about it. So there's patience required on both. And, a strong assurance knowing that she's perfectly capable to be a leader too. It's going to be in a different area, and it's not going to be leading in a way that he understands. And that also makes him uncomfortable. Anything that doesn't make sense is going to bother that guy. Faith is hard when it's someone that can't see the whole picture just yet. But you know what? He's going to see your whole picture. So, like I said, the patience is required, because he's honestly, looking at these These cards here, teaching comes up again, for the medicine woman and the medicine bag and the spiritual teacher, and all of those are on top of this Queen of Cups. So she's got a leadership role to play. And I feel like he's seeing that. He's just uneasy. One more. One more. I feel like there's still a message on the oh look, no, there's not. I said I feel like there's more than one, more cards for about this relationship, but there's not. There's not. The end of it is that they are to have patience with one another, and the one on the bottom of the deck is listen to your heart. So in this situation, I feel like you both know that everything's going to be okay, and that you're in a rough patch right now because you just don't understand the path you're on. But know that God's guiding it. God is guiding it. Your heart. Listen to your heart. God's guiding this. You're protected. Look at that. The white all around there, the white light. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, just like you. I thank you for listening, and I thank you for being here today. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.